Hello everyone, and welcome to Maths Revision with Jov. Today we will be solving the problem, show that 2 times the square root of 14 divided by the square root of 5 minus the square root of 7 divided by the square root of 10 can be written in the form a times the square root of b divided by 10, where a and b are integers. To solve this problem, we will need to be rationalising the denominators and then performing some simplification. Now the first thing we want to do is we're going to write out our expression. So that's 2 times the square root of 14 divided by the square root of 5, subtract the square root of 7 divided by the square root of 10. And we can set that equal to, well, the first thing we want to do is we want to make this square root of 5 on the denominator here, we want to make this rational. And we can do so by the following trick. So we take the 2 times the square root of 14 divided by the square root of 5, and we can multiply the top and bottom of this fraction by the square root of 5. And so that is the same as this first term we have over here. Now we can do the same on the other term. We've got the square root of 7 divided by the square root of 10, and we can multiply the top and bottom of this fraction by the square root of 10, as we have here. We can simplify this to make the denominators rational now. So you can say that is equal to 2 times the square root of 14 times the square root of 5 divided by the square root of 5 times the square root of 5, which we know is 5. Same thing over here. We've got the square root of 7 times the square root of 10 divided by the square root of 10 times the square root of 10, which we know is 10. Now that we have rationalised the denominators, we can go ahead and simplify the numerators. We can do this by seeing the 2 square roots multiplied together. We've got 2 times the square root of 14 times the square root of 5. We can put them both inside the same square root. So if the square root of 14 times 5, which is the square root of 70, and that is still divided by 5. Similarly, on the second term, we can multiply the 2 numbers inside the square roots. We've got the square root of 7 times 10, which is the square root of 70 again, and it's still divided by 10. Now we have to go back to the original question, where it says we need to write this expression in the form a times the square root of b divided by 10. So the first thing I notice is that we have a 10 in the denominator. That's okay, we've got one here. But we've not got a 10 on the denominator of the first fraction. We've got a 5 there. Luckily, 5 is a factor of 10. So we can go ahead and raise this denominator up to 10. And how do we do that? We multiply it by 2. We multiply the top and bottom by 2. So up here we've got now 4 times the square root of 70 divided by 2 times 5 is 10. And we've still got the single square root of 70 divided by 10 over here. Now we are almost done. We just need to simplify this expression, and luckily it simplifies very easily. If you notice, we have the square root of 70 on both of these terms, and we also have a divided by 10 in both of these terms. What we don't have already here is this 4 and this single one over here. That's okay, we can just put that in brackets. So we've got 4 and then minus, we've just got one of them. And that is simply the square root of 70 divided by 10 times 3. Put that in brackets for now. And we're just about done now. We can just rewrite this as 3 times the square root of 70 all divided by 10, and that's our answer. As you can see, we have it in the form a times the square root of b divided by 10. We can just say, over here I'll put it, that a equals 3 and b equals 70. And there we go. I hope that helps.